Oh wow, another new Souls-like coming out. Finally! We get to dodge roll through same skeleton of a game for like 100th time? So cool. But seriously, why are we like this? The latest trend in the gaming world seems to be a tidal wave of copy-paste design, dressed up with just enough tweaks to pretend it's something new. What's weird is, we're totally okay with it now. In fact, we kinda love it. Remember when we used to roast Ubisoft for their endless outposts and map clutter? We laughed, rolled our eyes, said they're just reskinning the same formula again. But now, we'll give it for the 15th farming sim a round of applause and a shiny, overwhelmingly positive badge on Steam. Even if it is just a slightly moodier version of the one we played last month. And look, I'm not here to ruin our parade or tell us to stop enjoying the things we love. If we're settling for a Stardew Clone number 87 slightly cuter aesthetic edition, and it brings us joy, then honestly, that's great. But I can't help wondering, when did we decide that comfort should matter more than curiosity? When did we stop asking for something new and start asking for more of the same, just with better lighting and maybe a revolutionary and never seen before fishing minigame? Maybe it's because deep down, we like knowing what we're getting into. We like the rituals, booting up a game and instantly understanding how the skill tree works or where to find the inventory menu. It makes us feel competent, smart even. There's a strange comfort in learning that this button still crouches, that button still swings a sword, and yes, you can still increase your carrying capacity by crafting a bigger pouch out of animal skin. We often say that we want innovation, but how often do we choose games that truly break the mold? The truth is, we often gravitate toward the familiar, especially when the life outside the game is messy, chaotic, and unpredictable. Sometimes the last thing we want is a game that demands we rewire our brains just to understand its core mechanics. So we return to the comfort of the known. Open world checklists, XP bars, gear scores, dodge rolls and bonfires. But I can't really shake the feeling that beneath playing another Vampire Survivors game or another Souls-like, we're missing something crucial. How often do you truly feel surprised by a game you play? I mean, truly you get transported back to the time when you were small and innocent making your first steps in the gaming world, where this new game you got was something unknown and truly mesmerizing, since you didn't know what was waiting behind the next corner. The moments where that guy fell from the sky in Morrowind, and you felt for a moment that this world was truly alive, and NPCs were doing something by themselves, researching magic, and perhaps next time you would meet another one who learned how to turn into dragon or something. Well, I myself don't get that nearly enough. Nowadays it feels like I can smell the game design 3 loading screens away. I open the map and instantly know where the side quests are, what kind of upgrade materials I'll need, and which skill tree is going to be objectively correct one, because Reddit already did the math. And sure, there's nothing wrong with knowing the structure. That kind of predictability can be relaxing, even enjoyable. But it is a different kind of enjoyment. One that's more about completion than exploration. More about efficiency than wonder. And well, it's not the first time I talk about efficiency. But it's not only about efficiency for us, the players. It's also more efficient for producers and game makers. Having some experience in this myself, there is nothing easier in writing game design document or well, making game mechanics, other than doing, well, it's Dark Souls but with robots instead of demons, and in steampunk France instead of dying fantasy kingdom. It does tell you all you need to know to both developers and investors, and sure, it's cool, but it's also boring and reductive, despite the fact that end product can be of very high quality. It's a well-oiled machine. And machines are great at producing consistent results, but not so great at making us feel something new. And it's not just a laziness thing, it's survival. Game development is brutal and it is expensive, it's risky, and entire studios live or die based on how predictable their success will be. So when something like Dark Souls, Hades, Stardew Valley or Escape from Tarkov hits big, the safest thing to do is, well, copy the structure, slap on a new coat of paint, and pray to algorithm gods. And to be honest, it's true not only for games, but for anything humans do nowadays. Hey, while I criticize it all, it's not like I'm not heavily influenced by all kinds of trends and information when I make my videos after all. So who am I to judge? The thing is that I feel the sole fact that I am able to talk to all of you right now is also the reason why we stopped being as creative as we could be. Being exposed to all kinds of ideas through the network of World Wide Web makes us far more educated, knowledgeable and agile than most people that came before us. But yet, it also makes us rely on this information from web rather than think on our own. We binge analyses, watch deep dives, read dev diaries, check tier lists before we even install the game. We're constantly fed the collective thoughts of thousands of people. And slowly and quietly that begins to shape not only what we play, but how we play it. And worse, how we create. Creativity, by its nature, thrives on tension, in not knowing, in that awkward space where things don't make sense yet. But internet hates ambiguity. It rewards confidence, speed, and certainty. You don't get engagement by saying, well, I'm not sure, but maybe this idea could work. You get this by declaring this is the best game of 2025 and here's why. And that attitude trickles down into development too. Because if you're a small indie dev, or even a mid-sized studio, you're browsing what algorithm blesses this week. And whatever you're gonna build with that in mind. You start with, well, what does the audience want, instead of what do I want to explore. And don't get me wrong, understanding your audience is important, it keeps the light on. But when every creative decision is based on chasing trends, playing it safe or making content that would fit into clean little boxes, we end up starving the medium of the weird, the ugly, the difficult, and the unexpected. You know, the stuff that really can make something interesting. So yeah, it has to change. Not because sameness is killing gaming, but because gaming deserves better than just safe bets and formulaic design. It deserves risks. It deserves interesting and creative ideas that were happening in the old school gaming. That's why so many people are saying that gaming previously was better. It was more creative because people were not so influenced by the media and they were doing something that really made them interested. And of course, many of those ideas would fail, that's only natural. But only from that something truly creative and interesting can emerge. Because that's where the magic comes from. Not from polish, but from passion, from confusion and friction, from people stumbling into something they didn't plan and trusting the chaos enough to follow it somewhere new. But can it change? Well, probably not. At least not in the way we wish it would. Because, let's be honest, if the past couple decades of gaming, and really all entertainment, have taught us anything, it's that making copies is profitable, safe, and quite good. As long as you don't make total garbage that nobody wants. You're gonna sell something at least. And that's the thing, we do want it. We want more cozy farm sims even though Stardew Valley already exists, and could probably keep one person entertained until the heat death of the universe. We want more Souls-like even after getting Dark Souls 1, Dark Souls 2, Dark Souls 3, Bloodborne, Sekiro, Elden Ring, and probably a board game or two on top of it. And still we say, yes, give us more, but this time with puppets, and make it steampunk. Also maybe there's an orphan subplot. Is it weird? Well, yeah, it feels weird to me. It's like we're caught in this cultural loop where we already know the formula, and yet we're excited to see it repeated again. Just slightly differently. It's like ordering your favorite pizza but asking them to replace mushrooms with olives so you can pretend it's a different dish. It's not just games. Hollywood's doing the same dance. Netflix sees an anime trend blow up and suddenly we've got 5 Western isekai adaptations. All of them starring some poor schmuck getting hit by another allegory of Truck-kun and waking up in a magical kingdom, perhaps this time with a smartphone and a moral compass made out of wet cardboard. The trope is tired, the format is saturated, but we eat it anyway, over and over. Why? Because it's fine, and it's digestible, it doesn't challenge us, it doesn't ask too much, and sometimes that's exactly what we think we want. Well, and as long as we keep wanting it, we'll keep getting it. And really, can we blame anyone for giving us more of the same if we keep rewarding it? We talk about innovation, but when something truly different comes out, something raw and unpolished, most of us pass it by. In the best case scenario, we wish list it and forget about it. Or worse, we try it for 10 minutes, get uncomfortable, and go back to playing the same game that we were grinding for 100 hours. We've all done it, and I've done it as well. So no, the system probably won't change anytime soon. Not because change is impossible, but because sameness is easier. it's scalable, it's safer, and it works. And in an industry that runs on trends and hype cycles, it works is more than enough to keep the loop going. So, maybe the question isn't why are most games the same. Maybe it's why do we keep playing them anyway? And the answer is because they're safe, because they're familiar, because life is exhausting, and sometimes we just want to collect mushrooms and upgrade our +2 iron pants. And that's okay. But maybe, just maybe, we can make a little space for something we don't recognize. Support the weird stuff, the messy stuff, the games that make you feel lost again, even for a little while. If we truly want to feel the wonder and the curiosity we had when we were just kids, we have to get it ourselves. We have to go out of our comfort zone and try things, give chances to new genres and experiences. Yes, the world is probably not gonna change. Yes, there will be hundreds of copies coming every passing year. But if we make decisions to try something new, to break the mold, we will at least give some space for those who wish to do something creative and unlike anything else. And in my book, that's already a win, for us, the players, and for games as an art form. Because sameness might be comfortable, but it's unfamiliar that makes us feel alive.